Welcome to Convergence with Karen Holton, episode 12 on People for People Radio. Find out how the personal is political as we explore the politics here on Earth, the exopolitics of our galaxy, and how these intersect with spiritual transformation through my unique perspective. Just to catch you up, in episode 8, I shared my latest version of the Quantum Health Transformation Program Step 9, where we learned more about the practical application of quantum physics, and we examined the benefits of doing light-shadow integration work. In episode 9, I shared my latest version of Quantum Health Transformation Steps 8 and 7, which are the next two steps as we cover this material in reverse order. In episode 9, we covered several ways to self-soothe and integrate our male and female energies to give us more quantum balance in our lives. In episode 10, we covered Quantum Health Transformation Step 6, Detoxification, Parts 1 and 2. I gave you everything you need to know to safely detoxify your body so you can improve your health and achieve a new level of well-being. Last week in episode 11, we looked at methods to assist you to find ways to improve your mental health and make better use of our full range of emotions with the Quantum Health Transformation Step 6 Part 3. We also took a deep dive into eating styles and how a biologically superior diet can assist us spiritually and physically with Quantum Health Transformation Step 5. Quantum Health Transformation Steps 9, 8, and 7 form the first tier of training in this free online lifestyle course and will help you to open your mind and expand awareness. Then, the information that I share in Quantum Health Transformation Steps 6, 5, and 4 form the second tier of training, which is all about detoxification to improve health, help you to achieve a new level of well-being, and become free of the negative influences of the social construct. You may want to come back and listen to each episode again, as they contain a lot of information with some deeper concepts to consider. All of the information that I am presenting here was received as part of a spiritual download, and I believe the details are from the Living Library, also known as the Akashic Records, and is integrated with my personal life experience and training. If this is your first time joining us, I encourage you to check out the archives here on People for People Radio or my YouTube channel to find all of the episodes of Convergence. Thank you for joining me. I want to remind you that this system of quantum health transformation works well for me. However, you must synthesize this information and take only that which serves you. At the very least, it is my hope that you will be stimulated to seek your own inner wisdom. Now that you know how to stop poisoning yourself and you have all the information you need to detoxify your body and your mind, it's time to move on to Quantum Health Transformation Step 4, which is designed to help you to achieve a new level of well-being and to detoxify and become free of the negative influences of the social, political, economic construct. Here is an overview. Quantum Health Transformation Step 4 is designed for those who wish to raise awareness and improve their learning sources and outcomes. It provides another layer of detoxification through an exploration of our learning influences and perceptions. It upskills knowledge and understanding about how changes to external and internal dialogue create a shift in perception, which assists you to speak your truth with amazing outcomes. It also provides an understanding of quantum heuristics to better plot your life course and increase positive outcomes. You might be wondering, how is Quantum Health Transformation Step 4 different from other lifestyle programs? It offers a quantum approach to learning, language, and perception. It exposes the hidden agenda behind mainstream media, and it provides a deeper, more comprehensive understanding of the law of attraction. Step 4, understanding the power of heuristics and speaking your truth, will teach you how the body produces biophotonic energy, how spiritual consciousness travels faster than the speed of light, how we can make better use of a multidimensional reality, how negative habits and behaviors energetically harm the self and others, ways that we match energy to attract people into our lives, a new way to go from rags to riches by controlling your own virtual reality, an alternative process to attain health, wisdom, and wealth, and finally, techniques to discover options which were there all along that we were missing. Quantum Health Transformation Step 4 Blue, understanding the power of heuristics and speaking your truth. In order to speak your truth, you must find your truth. Your truth is that which you have come to believe once you have stepped outside of the socio-economic political construct or your socialized programming. Speaking your truth requires a shift in perception and new ways of expressing yourself. One way to step outside of our socio-economic political programming is to consider how we learn on a total perceptual level and get a better understanding of our heuristic patterns. Let me show you the bigger mechanical picture. Heuristics literally means learning, discovering, or problem solving by experimental, trial and error methods, and exploratory problem solving techniques that self-educate and allow us to improve performance and evolve based on the feedback. This is why it is beneficial to examine our beliefs and test them out in the real world as we mature. Then there is quantum heuristics. In short, heuristics is the whole process of taking in and interpreting data and then learning from it. This is how we plot our course through life, and it involves taking in data on a physical level, what we see, hear, touch, smell, and taste, the data we take in on a socio-emotional level, which is the culturally constructed meaning attached to the data, and the emotional sensations produced from our perceptions of it, as well as the data we take in on an energetic level. That's the energy which is actually produced from the symbols that form the data. We do well to consider our self-learning from at least those three perspectives, which form a holistic or quantum view. Most of our interpretation of the data, or what we call reality, comes from patterns of cultural learning based on words, which form standardized, mutually built conscious concepts into a verbal pattern in order to share with others the constructed data, forming what we consider to be shared reality. We get used to thinking within these patterns and learn from our perceived experiences within this shared environment. It is my belief that linguistic relativity and language influence our beliefs, and the use of words affects our perceptions and patterns of learning. The theory of linguistic relativity states that the structure of a language influences the way its speakers conceptualize the world. The Sapir-Whorf hypothesis discusses the grammatical structure of a particular language and how it influences its speakers' perceptions of the world. A commonly cited example of linguistic relativity is the example of how Inuit Eskimos describe snow. In English, there is only one word for snow. Excuse me. But in the Inuit language, many words are used to describe snow. There's wet snow, clinging snow, frosty snow, and so on. Since all things are connected, we do well to consider our choice of words and the methods of communication we rely on. Unfortunately, we are affected by the feedback from a faulty system, which I call the construct. Social and cultural patterns that affect our perceptions come from those who wish to keep power and influence to themselves. In order for this to continue, the construct remains hidden, and we are taught that there's only one reality, which is perpetuated by those who know what is best for humanity. Further, those who step outside of social norms, or who try to expose the greater truths, are severely ridiculed, punished, and discredited. Today, we will consider some of these reality influencers. Excuse me. Well, we'll start with the media. To say that mainstream media is not a reliable source of factual data is an understatement. Its purpose is sensationalism, and it is used as a very successful propaganda delivery system. Mainstream televised, audio, print, and digital media favors words and concepts that stir up excessive emotion on a consistent basis, which induces a numbing effect from the overstimulation of the senses. This serves to minimize emotional response altogether and puts the viewers into a hypnotic state, making us very vulnerable to suggestion. By doing so, this communication system discourages the use of empathy and compassion, which are skills essential for personal and global health. Ever since television was first introduced to the public, it was used as a marketing device. The shows attracted the audience for the commercial sale of products, and a good example of that is soap operas. With a few exceptions, which might be like public programming, everything broadcasted on TV and the radio is there to sell you products, concepts, and ideologies. It has nothing to do with truth or health or ways to enhance our self-concept of who we are. Everything that we have been taught is a lie. The truths are well hidden and form the basis for all forbidden knowledge. It is important to remember that words carry their own energy, and the energy from years of specific use by many people. This is why the word love has a similar effect on water crystals, whether it is written or spoken in English, Japanese, Italian, or Mandarin, or any other language. You can learn more about this from Dr. Emoto's website. He put water into jars, attached labels with emotional words like love, peace, or anger, which he affixed to the jars of water. He later froze the water and examined the structure of the water crystals. The effects were astounding and revolutionary. So the crystal or snowflake pattern that was evident after, say, the word love or unity or a higher frequency emotion was written on a label and put on the jar. The snowflake was just so beautiful and very lacy looking and very complex and very robust looking. Meanwhile, negative or low vibration words like hate or anger produced these misshapen snowflakes that we could barely, we really couldn't even identify them as snowflakes because the water reflects the energy from the words that were put on the labels that were affixed to the jars. So I really recommend you take a look at Dr. Emoto's website, and you can look at hundreds of different crystals and how they responded to different words. Likewise, when we use a word which has a similar meaning in any language, it also has a measurable effect on the energetic frequency of our bodies and our thoughts, as seen with technologies like biofeedback, biokinesiology, EEG scans, etc. My point is that words form concepts, our ideas, which shape beliefs, which determine our view of the world or our perspective, which influences the feedback essential for self-guided learning, which is our evolution. This is all part of heuristics. Now enter the law of attraction. The energy carried by the thoughts, words, and sounds associated with verbal communication and idea conceptualization fuel the law of attraction, which involves elements of both energy and consciousness. Everything is energy. Matter is made up of atoms, which are made up of electrons, neutrons, and protons, which are made up of quarks, leptons, gauge bosons, and Higgs or scalar boson particles, etc. When we break everything down to its smallest components, everything has wave-particle duality, known as wavicles, and is expressed in both mass and energy. Living beings produce biophotonic energy, which can be seen with Kirlian photography, and by measuring the strength of the torus field produced by our physical hearts. Now, for more information or refresher on these concepts, I recommend you go back to Quantum Health Transformation Step 8 and Step 5 and review the information. Many experiments show us that we are transceivers. We transmit and receive energetic information. Recently, scientists have discovered that spiritual consciousness, which is made up of biophotonic energy, travels much faster than the speed of light, with an unimaginable high frequency and short wavelength. This is why spiritual consciousness travels outside of time and space, which is mediated by the speed of light, and why prayers and interdimensional contact is instant. This also explains the spiritual gifts of precognition, astral travel, and mysticism. When clear, each chakra emits biophotonic energy with its own wavelength and speed of travel. The sacral chakra transmits at the speed of light squared, and the crown chakra transmits at the speed of light to the power of 8. So I want to take a minute to talk a little bit more about spiritual consciousness, which is biophotonic energy. I want you to get a grasp on how fast consciousness is able to travel. So the sacral chakra transmits at the speed of light squared. What does that actually look like? Well, depending on where you live, it could be measured differently. So we'll start with miles per hour. That is 670,616,629 miles per hour times 670,616,629 miles per hour. And the value for the speed of light in a vacuum is now defined as exactly 299,792,458 meters per second. So in instead of standard measurement, this is in metric, but it spells out as exactly the same. So the sacral chakra transmits at nearly 300 million meters per second times nearly 300 million meters per second. That is so fast that I don't have room on my page for enough zeros to give you a total. But if you want to mess around with the calculator, go right ahead. So the crown chakra, which is at the top of the head, and that's the one that we generally use for prayer and for sacred communication, it transmits at the speed of light to the 8th power. So the actual amount in miles per hour, the speed of light, I should say, measurement, is 670,616,629 miles per hour. So let's just, for simplicity's sake, round that up to just a little less than 700 million miles per hour. So the crown chakra transmits almost 700 million miles per hour times 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 almost 700 millions miles per hour. I mean, my brain doesn't even go that high. So that's how fast is the speed of prayer. To learn more about biophotonic energy and many other facts about reality, check out my playlist called The Science of Reality, which is found on the homepage of my YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/C/Karen Holton TV. To us, this is instant communication and explains precognitive knowing and how experiencers like myself can communicate with beings who live very far away within our time-space continuum, or even outside of time and space itself. I know, it blows my mind too, but it's something to think about for sure. Further, think of common written and spoken words as symbols which carry little packages of consciousness. We have been taught to think in terms of words constrained by time and space, creating our 3D experience. But when we use uncommon or sacred written and spoken words, we are transmitting the energy faster than time and space. This is why prayer and authentic desire, which is visualization without words, are so effective at bringing results. When we are fully present in the now, we transmit with and without words. Spiritual consciousness transmits our desires outside of time and space, and we operate on a whole new level. This is why meditation is so beneficial. Whether we realize it or not, while we are fully present and by living consciously, we operate within the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth dimensions, if not even more. By living consciously, we listen to our speech and we notice where adjustments are needed, and we self-correct our course. This is one of the many advantages of finding the observer within, also called our inner guru. When we shift, our perspective shifts as well, along with our learning outcomes. Think of the process like playing a video game, except with real life 3D consequences. Those of us who are open to the holographic nature of reality know that we live in a LARP or LARP, which stands for live action role-playing game. When we shift perspective, the brain learns very quickly. And since it is wellness-oriented, we become aware of different options, which were there all along, but we were programmed not to notice them. Your subconscious mind starts to project and set things up on a physical level to make the energy manifest. It is a team effort. Me, myself, and I. For more information about the Me, Myself, and I integration training, consult the Quantum Health Transformation Step 6, Part 3, information found in Episode 11 of Convergence. This is why living in the now brings about or manifests our desires like magic. More on manifesting and the techniques to stack the energy and to speed up desired outcomes in Quantum Health Transformation Step 3, which we will cover next week in Episode 13. It comes back to using our courage to step outside of our comfort zones and grasp a quantum reality and all of its benefits. And again, to refresh yourself on the quantum reality, you can go back and watch Quantum Health Transformation Step 9. At this point, I'd like to say something about quantum physics. Quantum physics is ruled by theoretical scientists and experimental scientists, but they would progress much faster if they included the practical scientists, which we call experiencers. These ones are adept at applying the principles of quantum physics in real-life applications. Trinities always produce better results than binary systems. So it would be great if those who teach advanced manifestation through the law of attraction could be welcomed into the body of science that embraces quantum physics. Now, getting back to heuristics, here are some common examples of heuristics in motion. So we'll start with something very common that we're all familiar with, and that would be gossiping and spreading rumors. So gossiping and spreading rumors sends out, adds to, and intensifies energy, which always has an effect on the target and the sender or senders. Currently, and many years ago, people of all nations used words along with amplifiers, and amplifiers like crystals, herbs, and rituals, etc., to send energy to targets. Depending on the intention of the sender, the outcome can be negative or positive. If the intention of the sender is negative, it is recognized as gossip, rumor spreading, or even dark spell casting. If the intention of the sender is positive, then it is recognized as shamanism, Reiki, or sending and intending blessings, well wishes, and love. Intention sets the stage and outcomes. And there is always a bounce back result which affects the sender. In Wicca, also known as white magic, the sender well recognizes the bounce back as 3 or even 5 times the very same as what was sent out. This has a sobering effect on the sender, as they will think twice before using magic to manipulate another. When the intention is pure and to the very best interest of the receiver, blessings also bounce back. For instance, when we pray for the health of another, our health also improves. When we send blessings and desires for the success of another, our own success is more secure. This simple process is at the heart of all magic and manifestation techniques. Words and symbols form concepts of harm or health, which when directed at others provide outcomes, cause and effect, which provide the learning and strengthening of belief systems. Self-education and improved performance is the intended end result. Another good example is something in sociology called cultural capital. People of elevated status or with old money wealth, and occasionally con artists, follow certain traditions of speech, words, and pronunciations, which produce specific conceptual belief systems, in this case, entitlement. The Queen's English is a good example. These, along with other factors like appearance and the display of prestige items, form a calling card or identifying marker, gaining them access to experiences that the majority of us do not get the opportunity to participate in. This phenomena, it also has an energetic effect. Again, words and symbols form concepts of entitlement, which are directed at others, providing outcomes, cause and effect, which provide learning and a strengthening of belief systems. Self-education and improved performance is supposed to be the end result. Intention sets the stage and outcomes. And there's always a bounce back result which affects the sender. Within the higher echelons of society, cultural capital seems to open doors to opportunity. However, few understand about the bounce back, which matches at least the very same as what is sent out or more. Denial of the repercussions sets these folks up for a lot of disappointment, and their desires often do not produce the hoped for results. Their lives can be very shallow, and although they give the appearance of being better off, they simply do not experience the love and security that they strive for. When the intention is pure and to the very best interest of the receiver, blessings also bounce back. For instance, when people with abundant resources and cultural capital use it for legitimate philanthropy, they benefit from their generosity and their lives become rich with meaning. When we send blessings and desires for the success of others, our own success is more secure. This simple process is at the heart of all human interaction. Words and symbols form concepts of harm or health, which when directed at others, provide outcomes, cause and effect, which provide the learning and strengthening of belief systems. Self-education and improved performance is the intended end result. So my final example is the classic rags to riches story, and it's more currently, this is what I call it, I was sad but found out what makes me happy story. Throughout history are examples of people who overcame their challenges in life and went on to inspire millions of people. They all used basically the same formula, and they were willing to put in the effort, which translates into energy. Intentions varied, and people like Hitler and Mussolini created some horrible outcomes, and due to the bounce back of energy, they did not enjoy their lives, and they are certainly not well thought of. Positive examples include Earl Nightingale, Louise Hay, and Tony Robbins. Earl Nightingale said, quote, "Success is really nothing more than the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. This means that any person who knows what they are doing and where they are going is successful. Any person with a goal towards which they are working is a successful person," unquote. People like Earl Nightingale, Louise Hay, and Tony Robbins keep themselves to a highly ethical standard and send out energy with the best of intentions. As a result, they become very successful and they experience rich and happy lives. To write your own success story, review step 9, and then simply pick a new and uncharted but thought out point on your Nubby Ball tool. Now watch for your resulting changes in perception unfold in time. At first you You will need to keep bringing yourself back to the new route, which means that you may need to correct your thought patterns, your vocabulary, your beliefs, and whatever else fits with your desired outcome. But soon you'll be able to see the patterns in real-life experiences, and you will plot the future by fine-tuning your intentions, which include thought patterns and beliefs, and actions, which include maybe your vocabulary or your personal choices. Now you are directing and controlling your own virtual reality. You choose different words and symbols to form concepts of your new experience, which are directed at your outside world, providing outcomes, cause and effect again, which provide learning and a strengthening of your belief systems. Self-education and improved performance is the end result as your goals are met. Soon we find ourselves in a flexible groove of perspective, and we could reflect on our truths and see how they evolve from fresh experiences. Once we get to know our personal truths, we can throw some out, we can look for some new ones, we can share them with others, giving voice to the global shift each one of us contributes to. By keeping an eye on our intentions, everything changes as we become the change that we want to see in the world. In my experience, this process is true for attaining better health, wisdom, and wealth, and they seem to come in that order. Find your truth and express it however you want. Words are only one form of communication. I use the nubby ball as a tool to share the context of what I am saying regarding heuristics and speaking our truths. Some of the quantum health transformation step 4 requires you to use some abstract thinking. If this is a stretch for you, use a physical ball or a picture of a sphere to help you get started, and review the Step 9 primer and live videos for technique. These are available from my website or my YouTube channel. By the way, the nubby ball tool is also known as quantum field holography. Once you recognize your own patterns, feel free to experiment and choose new patterns until you find ones that resonate with your desires. Along with an evolution in thinking comes a shift in perception and new ways of looking at things. You will discover options that were there all along, and your mind forms new neural pathways as you learn. This facilitates a refining process that leads to happiness and the attaining of your desires. Now you can experience the power of heuristics and speak your truth with amazing outcomes. For more information, watch the Quantum Health Transformation Step 4 Blue, Understanding the Power of Heuristics and Speaking Your Truth podcasts. This concludes Quantum Health Transformation Step 4, and now I'm going to share with you a couple of my articles as they appear in Civil Magazine 2016. August edition, Neutralizing Fear by Karen Holton. Even though I was doing everything possible to regain my health, fear, stress, and anxiety remained a part of my life until I learned to face up to and effectively work with all of my feelings. Now, as soon as I become aware of undesirable feelings, I stop and I focus on my breathing. This momentarily stops the thinking part of my experience and allows me to refocus and rely on my inner resources. In this moment, I truly co-create my life situation by turning over my mind to the creative good. This allows my internal dialogue to collapse so I can reset myself and become more aware of my abundant internal spiritual guidance system. Feelings are my compass. They tell me what is happening on all levels so that my higher abilities can assist. I came to understand how my mind can work against me with its perceptions and the stories I tell myself. However, When I feel a sensation and do not supply mind thought, I create space for my higher powers to come to the fore. Fear can be neutralized. I start by taking full responsibility for my situation. Then I can appeal to my higher self to help me create an imaginative, positive overlay of the outcome that I desire. Then I simply get on with my life by doing the things that I love. When I expect the best, I trust myself and my creative good. And when I express gratitude for the things I appreciate in the now, I automatically let go of worry and anxiety. For example, in the past, when I feared that I might not be able to meet my ongoing financial obligations, I found a great peace from taking full responsibility and by promising myself that I would make sure there are sufficient resources to meet my desires regardless of circumstances. Then I just let it be so. The magic lies in that precise moment that I accept full responsibility for my situation as I have created it and perceive it to be before I look for more promising alternatives. Miracles are born in this fierce moment, which often requires great courage. This is how I learned to die to my former self and be open to something new. I am in charge of my recreation, and I will figure it out as I go along because only I can fine-tune the necessary adjustments. Stress is not my enemy. Regardless of position in life, our best comes out when we are under pressure. When life gets easy, we become satisfied and we lose our drive. Without stress, we quickly lose our way within illusion and glamour. The lessons remain regardless, but deliberate co-creation is most rewarding and brings about a calm peacefulness which neutralizes fear. Then we find that only love remains. End of article. September edition, New Paradigm Living by Karen Holton. Although the ascension process is challenging, New Paradigm Living is full of pleasant realizations and experiences. As we leave the projected world of duality, which dominates with old paradigm thinking, we discover a plethora of life-enhancing options. When confined to duality thinking, we see options of this or that, fat or thin, rich or poor, good or bad. Then one day, I realized that we can have our cake and eat it too. I can experience this and that, a middle ground rich with endless combinations of options. New paradigm living no longer constrains us to this or that choices because we expand our concept of having. The power of and replaces the limits of or. I can have abundance and humility, excitement and vitality, or be straight and gay. How my life did change when I started seeing my options as this and that and the other thing too. Expanding my concept of having also influenced my social life. As I meet other awakened individuals, I respond to them on a whole new level. We form friendships of equals, kinfolk, mentors, teachers, playmates, and we look up to each other with deep love and respect. We form a global tribe. When one of us falters, the tribe grounds the temporarily unconscious one and guides them back to awareness. All is calm. Since we share abundance consciousness, there is no need for backbiting, competition, or self-elevation. Unconditional love remains constant. Although we may rarely see each other in person, when we do reconnect, it's like no time has passed at all. Throughout this global platonic love affair, We find intimacy as we heal each other with our hugs, inspiration, and alternative healing modalities. Linear thinking is essential for success in the old paradigm, but this impairs our imagination and spiritual growth. The ascension process is holistic and requires us to forgive and love ourselves unconditionally, and soon we begin to love and nurture our bodies. Rather than never feeling quite good enough within the old paradigm, we now transition into complete self-acceptance, and that means our warts, bumps, and all. And humor replaces regret. Further, spending time daily without distractions allows for self-reflection. Although this may feel like an internal battleground for a while, it develops our imagination, and we soon find clarity and balance, guidance and loving support, health and vitality. The cure for our everyday challenge is waiting to be discovered within, and the more we focus on any subject, the more detail is revealed, until we eventually become adept at accessing the Akashic Records, which is also known as the Living Library. Change your position in the multiverse by transitioning to new paradigm living. By stepping out of the duality of old paradigm thinking, we access great powers lying within the imaginative realm of infinite possibility. Health, love, intimacy, peace, joy, and self-respect await us all. End of article. May 2016 edition, Spring Soul Cleaning by Karen Holton. This year, spring cleaning was more of a soul adventure as I decided to downsize, clear out the clutter, and keep only the things which make my heart sing. I was attached to so many things, and since every item held a memory and an emotion, I just couldn't make myself part with any of it. So I decided to give up my spacious home, filled to the brim with things which no longer served me, and move into a small apartment to simplify my life and my belongings. Drastic measures, but well worth it. As I sorted through my belongings, I was surprised to find that I held such strong sentimental attachment to so many things which made me feel sad. Since energy is imbued into items by the way we think and feel about them, I was inadvertently hoarding negative energy, and this was holding me back from the fuller life I deserve and desire. I held on to things which caused me to miss my children when they were little, or reminded me of my many mistakes, failed projects, hobbies and crafts never completed, some never even started. Why was I keeping old family relics which meant something to someone once, but just collect dust now? I spent weeks crying my eyes out as I sorted, came to terms with, and disposed of the many things which made me feel unhappy. However, once the boxes were removed from my property, those items, which I had been storing and moving with me for years, simply no longer mattered. I felt so light and so free. It was as though I had discovered some form of arcane magic. I sorted through everything I owned, only keeping the things which made me feel happy, secure, and comforted, and threw the rest into boxes. A friend of mine came to pick up load after load, which she kindly dropped off at the thrift store for me. Once I realized how refreshed I felt after each load was gone, I got more courageous and actually came to enjoy the process. Soon I was shedding less tears while I sorted, and I felt more confident. And now, not only am I surrounded with comfort, but a tremendous weight has been lifted from my spirit and energetic field. As an added bonus, I can now look for the little children I had missed so much in the faces of my now grown offspring. and this has enriched my relationship with them. Stripping off this material excess weight really taught me new ways to simplify my life, dump and detoxify my negative emotions and attitudes, and set the stage for much refreshed and renewed me. I am no longer hoarding negative energy, and now that I have more fully reconnected to the flow, I am enjoying the life I deserve and desire more than ever. End of article. In conclusion, next week we will delve into Quantum Health Transformation Step 3 Indigo, understanding and using perception within the construct, and manifesting change. Seeing is believing. This step begins the third tier and final section of this free online program. In the meantime, please feel free to contact me for more information and for assistance with your detoxification program. My services are found under the Shop tab on my website. Again, I highly recommend you buy the PDF version of these lessons so that you can have the transcript, illustrations, and all of the links which are embedded for easy access. You can find all of my PDFs on my website under the Shop tab, and I am charging $3.99 Canadian for each one to help me cover my expenses. This online course is free, and if you would like to help support my work, please purchase some of my beautiful Zen Dome organites. Due to the pandemic, we're having difficulty sourcing supplies, and so we're unable to make more at this time, but there's still plenty to choose from. If you want to help create the change you wish to see in the world, or make ET contact, and or participate in the Intergalactic Resettlement Program, take exquisite care of the temple body, raise your vibrational frequency, and learn from the Quantum Health Transformation Program. Let me know if you have any questions about this or the Intergalactic Resettlement Program, and I will do my best to answer them on my next show. You can email me at forbiddentransformation@gmail.com. Join me and bring your friends as we go live at 1 p.m. Mountain Time every Tuesday here on People for People Radio. A special thank you to Gaz and Vanessa for hosting me and moderating for me on People for People Radio, and much love and light to you, the viewers. Thank you for sharing this time with me. If you would like to enjoy more of my content, check out my website at www.karenholtonhealthcoach.com. That's KarenHolton healthcoach.com, where you will find an abundance of free resources to assist with energetic ascension into physical, mental, and spiritual paradise. There you will find the 9 steps to quantum health transformation, a free, no strings attached, comprehensive online lifestyle course. Also, the Quantum Guide Show, interviews with awakened masters. Let them share their quantum work with you. And another show I host is called Forbidden Transformation with Karen and Chris. Learn how to make positive ET contact, improve your life, and find your experiencer community. And then, of course, there's the Fringe View, which is science fiction becomes science fact, as you learn about my real-life paranormal and extraterrestrial experiences from my various podcasts. If you would like to support my work, check out my online shop where you will find Zendome's Orgonite, my unique brand of orgone generators. They're ethically sourced, handmade, and double charged for maximum effect. I also have comfort crystals, a limited collection of energetically infused semi-precious stones. I also offer lifestyle services, everything from workshops, assessments, and certainly one-on-one support and coaching. And I also offer my PDF downloads, which are printable, shareable copies of my lessons. So my website again is www.karenholtonhealthcoach.com. My email is forbiddentransformation@gmail.com. And of course, you can always find me here on People for People Radio, www.peopleforpeople.ning.com. And then there's my YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/C/Karen Holton TV, and my backup channel on Odyssey, spelled Odyssee, www.odyssey.com/@Karen Holton TV.